You've been lied to. You tell yourself you're going to put your head down and work, but then, oh, what? Your Pomodoro timer goes off? Oh, these YouTube scammers are telling you that you can get away with all of this mindless content every half an hour, knowing nothing about productivity. This is the ultimate guide to productivity and why you can't stay productive. The Pomodoro lie. Studies show that breaks are important. I don't deny that. But you do need to take time away from work. As humans, we're never consistent with natural timings. There's a reason you wake up sometimes randomly in the middle of the night and feel really awake. You need to take advantage of that rather than going back to sleep. When you set your alarms, you don't feel like you can get out of bed. You feel like you just want to roll in there for another 30 minutes, stay warm. But then how comes in the middle of the night you want to get up? Just get up. The same is true for your focus time. You will have enough mental capacity sometimes to sit for 3 or 4 hours straight, and other times you need to listen to your body. When you feel like 30 minutes is too much, it's a bit of a drag, get through the 30 minutes and then stop. Focus on what's right and adapt to it. Be dynamic. Don't just be like, oh, I feel like I need to work for 30 minutes and then take a little break. No. Take breaks when your body thinks it needs breaks. Don't take breaks when everyone tells you need breaks. Listening to your body is the main thing that all of these hustle grind YouTubers won't tell you, and all the science-based ones will just tell you, oh, you need to always take your Pomodoro break. If you don't need the break, just push through it. Stop wasting your time. Otherwise, you're going to regret not doing work in the time where you felt you were productive, because you're going to take a 5-minute break and then feel lazy, like, oh, I could have taken a break, and now you're going to go do something for 10, 20 minutes. When you are going to take a break, because breaks are needed, go take a cold shower, go on a walk, do something that refreshes you. Don't just back out Instagram or TikTok or whatever. You can do that on the bus to school. You can do that on the way to work when you might as well be mindless. You have nothing better to do. But apart from that, why the hell are you just using these things during your work time? Your mind is going to go out of work mode. We all feel guilty because of unproductive time. We tell ourselves we're going to wake up at 4 in the morning and work for 5 hours before going outside to the gym, coming back. But truly, we have nothing to hold us accountable to this. Realistically, it's not going to happen. Unless you're in the flipping military, you are going to get bored. You're going to open your phone for 10 minutes. It's going to become 20 minutes. It's going to become an hour. You have two options for this. You either accept it of what God's given you, that it's human nature to sometimes slip up, or you work against it and keep telling yourself, oh, I'll just do 4 hours tomorrow. It's been months, buddy. You haven't done 4 hours in a single day. Understand, realistically, you might snooze your alarm a few times. You will occasionally lie in. Shit's gonna happen. And you can train yourself to be better at it, and you will slowly start waking up earlier and doing more work. But be realistic. Because once you start realistic and you add small improvements, eventually you get to your goals. Stop saying to yourself you're going to wake up at 4 a.m. if realistically you're not going to. If you're an evening person, say you're going to wake up at 8 on Saturday and then work once you wake up, or work in the evening. As long as you do your work, it's never that deep when you do it. You've been lied to about what productivity actually is. Real productivity is not just determined by your output, but how much your output changes. Someone going from 60 to 70% in exams is much better than someone going from 70 to 75%. Someone going from benching 50 kilos to 90 kilos has progressed more than someone going from 80 kilos to 100 kilos. All progress is positive. I'm not saying that it's not. But don't let, just because you've made a little bit of an improvement every year you sat for 5 more minutes. That's nothing. It's your change in output that matters. Compete with everyone. Work your ass off, but compete with yourself also. Real productivity is not sitting in a Starbucks, drinking a coffee with a nice aesthetic background. Real productivity is putting down pen and paper for hours like the greatest minds have in the past. It's not having a movie in the background or having a bunch of snacks. It's getting the shit done. You need to be held accountable by someone. Realistically, when your willpower is at the weakest in the military, what do? Your chief, your commander, your officer above you screams at you, shouts at you, ensures you get your work done. In the same way, the peers around you motivate you. This is why I'm launching accountability groups in my Discord server linked below, where there'll be a role where young men and women on the grind of Islam, academics, business, gym, and etc. can come and have people hold them accountable. You can find accountability partners which have similar goals to you without any of the guilt or awkwardness of telling friends, oh, I want to do this weekend. Oh, I want to go study. No, because your friends are just going to say, oh, why don't you come party with us? Why don't you come gaming? Why don't you put your head down and talk to people that are like-minded like you in the server, get some productive teammates, and then inshallah all your goals will be succeeded in. You need to create a study zone. There was a study on this done by a university professor where having a little lamp next to you, which you only use when you study and never when you're not, and he investigated what that does to your productivity. It showed that the more times that you only use the lamp for productivity and time to work and nothing else, the more productive you are. So have a little zone, a little corner which you use to study. Have one thing you always do before you study. This might be something as simple as sitting at the desk and staring at a wall for 2 minutes. It might be as simple as turning on a lamp, like in the study. You need something to put your mind into study mode, and this area can't be used for anything else. Don't eat there, don't bring your phone there, put your phone on the bed for all I care. But it should be somewhere where you only study and nothing else. Even when everything is distracting you, you can just go to your little corner and do your thing and then get back to whatever the whole life is saying. Because realistically, life is always going to change. Your study corner should not change. Now, before I say this one, just want to say I'm not a medical professional, but fasted work changed my life. As hunters or gatherers, did we eat before we hunted or after we hunted? Clearly, it's after we hunted. We know that convention tells us to eat a big breakfast and then work, but you'd waste so much time on energy. You're better off doing your main mental work in the mornings, fresh out of the shower, fresh after you prayed. At this point, you're the most able to focus and work. Then you get to earn your breakfast. Focused work is so much more important than just time worked. There's people doing 10 hours of work but getting nothing out of it. I was stuck in this loop at the start of college. Now, alhamdulillah, I've seen the light at the end of the tunnel, and you can too. Start challenging yourself with this. Do start waking up 15, 20 minutes earlier, but don't fall into the trap of, oh, I'm going to start 4 hours earlier. No, that's not going to work. Slowly build it up, and then inshallah you can start waking up earlier and earlier and doing more productive stuff in the morning. Stop neglecting your life and stop neglecting God. Often we see these hustlers on Instagram and TikTok who seem so locked in, always rejecting the fun for the grind. And fair enough, you should regret the haram degeneracy, but doing anything else in your life is also important, or you're going to end up an office junkie. You know them guys and girls that just sit in the office for 25 hours a day, working, and then just buying material stuff, but their boss doesn't care about them. You go home tired, you pass out, you wake up to live another day. In that other day, you just work. That means nothing. The money doesn't mean anything because where are you going to use it? You might have one day off where you go enjoy a nice drive in your car and go to a restaurant. But the other 20 days that you have coming up, useless. Your work needs to fund your passion. Don't fall into lifestyle inflation. Save up your money, invest it, and then inshallah, you can build a full business out of it. Assalamu alaikum.